there's a subject that you and I can never recount it for people, but it's something that always sticks out to me as a really interesting way of looking at personalities. And you talk about personality colors all the time.
Oh, yeah.
What is that all about?
So this, uh, it, so the program that I learned was called True Colors, and who taught it? The Dr. Lo Hong was the vice chancellor for student affairs, and she came in and did a training session about True Colors. And what I learned in this, the major thing that's like the biggest takeaway for me, I used to have these employees who would like constantly point out when I was doing something wrong all the time. I was like, do you hate, like, is this personal? Like, I don't. So I would be standing up there in front of them, or we'd all be sitting in a circle, and I'd be telling them like, oh, we have this idea, like we're gonna do this new thing, it's gonna be great, and I'm so excited, and I've really thought about this, and I'm like, this is my whole idea. Like, I feel like you get like excited about ideas.
Oh, I'm 100%.
So you
were describing, like... and now I know this is my wife is about to jump in here. This is exactly.
and then somebody would be like, yeah, but did you think about this? Which that's kind of okay. But they would also be like, did you know that you have a typo on the third page, like 3 sentences down? I'm like, no. I mean, of course I don't want any typos. Like, that's embarrassing, and I'm super embarrassed that you pointed it out in front of everybody. But like, that wasn't the point. But then when we did this True Colors, like, that's their superpower. Like, that's their thing. They can that's the greens. And they can just see, they're very, very detail oriented, and they can see the flaws in something, which now that I did that True Colors, I think, like, of course, what a gift that is to have that kind of person in an organization that's going to find the flaws and that will catch me from sending out this document with typos, or kind of think about like what could go wrong instead of being like, yeah, I know, but then like it could be great. And then,
yeah, because that's all I want to do. I just want to stay up. We're having fun, and now we're going somewhere.
Like, we'll figure out like everything as we go, and you guys are gonna love it. And then they like my style, which is orange, which I think is yours as well. I realize like I'm like a tornado, like I'm a nightmare to them. Like they just, it's so frustrating. Like, that's like one of the stories I tell in the book is when they staged an intervention because of my style, because I thought that we had these 2 weeks of training, and I had all these like fun things planned. Like, we'd do like fun games, and I'd surprise them with things. Like, we would have dinner, like, but it would be up at the basketball court, or just little things that I would just surprise them with, and activities. And so I was only giving them the agenda like for that day. When they got there, they got the agenda for the day, which I was like, that's super organized of me. And like some of the staff that had been with me for a couple of years, like sat me down and were like, you're driving us insane. Like, this, we can't take it. Like, we just want to know what's going to happen, and you know what's going to happen, and you're not telling us. So we're just like so stressed out that we just get there every day and we don't know what is going to happen. Like, we don't know what to wear. We don't know like how to mentally prepare ourselves. So it's like, no, and now in my job now, I could really see, like, of course that's annoying. Of course it is. But I thought it was really fun because that's my personality type.
Yeah, like we're going on a treasure hunt and somebody's taking me on a treasure hunt.
I can't tell you like everything we're going to do, because then you won't be surprised. And they're like, we don't want to be surprised. Like, no.
So there's like the detail-oriented people, then there's the people like you and me that are, like big ideas exploding. What are the other types of people?
So there's blue, which is the like usually your caretaker people, like your people who go into nursing professions, just very empathetic and sympathetic, and they just really feel for people. And so if you're having a big meeting with all of them, they might stop and say like, but have we considered how everybody feels? and really want to get into like a whole conversation and really take it personally.
Oh, and you do not
If
want to
there's a
cross the
debate.
empathy people. Oh man, if you tell the empathy people that empathy is not important, oh man, watch your
Yeah. And these people are very, very sweet to work with. And they're just some of like the best people that exist, you know, out there in the world, just because they're genuinely like really caring and compassionate. And then the gold is very, the gold is the person you want to give, like, you need something organized, like organized, like, don't forget, like nothing will be forgotten. The gold has probably been the gold star super student their whole lives. Like, they've been in charge of all the projects. they will get it done. It will be perfect. And they, like, if it's, I don't know, we did this, we had this way of like scheduling meetings, and it was worked out really well, but it was like kind of chaotic and just kind of like everybody jumping in, and Golds like took over, and I was like, you guys got this. I'm gonna step back. You're so much better at this than me. They're just like, no, we're just gonna whip this into shape. Like, we get this, we're gonna get it organized, details, we'll come up with a plan, and everybody just explain the plan. And you can't, if you try to just be like, no, like, we'll figure it out as we go. Like, no, no, the Golds are not having that. If you tell a Gold, like, if you said, hey, like, do you want to go for pizza tonight? And then they like decided, then we decide which pizza place we were going to go to. And then if we switched pizza places, that would be pretty bad. But like an orange person like me might say like, oh, hey, like, as we're getting ready to leave, like, I heard about this new place. Do you want to go there instead? Like, thinking like they'll just say if they don't want to, but like, it could be fun, like, right? It could be good. And they cannot, that's terrible. Like, why would you do that? That is so rude that you would even suggest that. Like, they already planned like to go to the restaurant that we talked about. Like, so they've already looked up the menu. They already have a plan. Like, so when you do that, it's not fun. But
I mean, I think
fun.
my natural personality, as you're describing all these, is I always imagine that I want to be surrounded by oranges. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, no, I don't want your orange ideas. I want my orange ideas. Details, people, quiet down. These are good ideas. Don't get in my way. So how do you manage, like, if you're trying to get together young people whose personalities aren't set, and maybe they were the gold star person when they were in high school. They don't want to be the gold star person anymore, but it's a part of their personality. So you've got all these people, they're coming together, and maybe it's not they're going into college. Maybe they're coming out of college and they're going into their first job. How do you figure out who people are and like how to orient them so that the oranges don't smash all the greens and those types of problems?
Yeah, I would do a lot of things where like it's definitely hard. I mean, and you can't just let your tendency seep in there all the time. I had them fill out a form I called it supervising the best you. And I would ask them questions like, what's easy about supervising you? Like, why would somebody feel like, yeah, like, you're great to supervise? Like, what makes you great at your job? And then I would ask them questions like, what is challenging about being your supervisor? And make them I gave it to them ahead of time so they could think about it and write it down. And I would really get to know like more about what they like. And I would ask them like, what is your like supervisor pet peeves? And so I get to know like what I might be doing that's driving them crazy.
Oh, this
and
is
we do
great.
a lot of like
this is great. Group. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we do a lot of getting to know each other as the group, but also realizing that, you know, from freshman to senior, like people change a lot. That's part of the process. That's supposed to happen.